Again, my name is Leonidas Hamza. Welcome to Hamza's Edificacy. Okay. I kind of wipe off my head here. I've been running around all day. I have a particular reason for this video. And as you see in this first one, I was in the gym. Now I'm in my room, which I don't have much of an office yet. However, this suits me well. It's my space. Someday soon, I'll have my office. Okay, most importantly, today, let me pull this out. Today I got confirmation, and what that confirmation was is that the judge approved of the waiver. Now, ideally, you don't want to do a waiver, you just want to pay for the court. However, in my situation, it's not what I can do right now. It's not about what I can afford. Just not the best position right now to fork out $400 for a lawsuit. It may take me longer to be reimbursed the monetary funds in which I'm asking for. And that is okay. I feel really low here. That is okay if it takes me a little longer to receive the monetary funds. But all I really care about most, though, is that this corporation and any corporation hereafter follows the rules, follows the law, follows the Constitution. That's what's most important to me. Now, the monetary funds, the reason I've asked for so much, which is $50,000, it will go up. I charge $500 an hour as a pro se litigant, as an attorney in fact. Yeah, I have a really high hourly rate. There's a reason for that. I don't have assistants, associates, and so on and so forth. It's me. I make all the copies. I draft all the documents. I print all the documents. I notarize everything. My gas, my time. I mean, like I've said, I believe I said in the first video, but I spent nearly 5 hours in the last, it's been 100 days now, every day, so that's over 470 hours now. That it's like 480 something, I'm not going to do the math right now, but I've put in 400 and some odd hours into this whole procedure. It has taken a lot out of me. I have school and other things I'm trying to proceed with, and trying to balance this all out. My time is worth more than $500 an hour. However, I'll be lenient once this case is over. My hourly rate will go up to $1,000 an hour, and that's not even just to be an a-hole. That's because our time is precious and our time is valuable. Well, besides that rant, like I said, I was approved for my fee waiver. I don't think this don't have any valuable information on it. That is my waiver. Okay. It's really lovely. I was actually expecting them not to approve of that for some reason. This is the complaint I drafted. My case number is 25L-M147. Tony David Leonard, all capital name, principal, by and through his attorney in fact. Tony-David Leonard is the plaintiff. Reverse Mercy Housing Incorporated. Melissa, I should not say those names. Let's not go ahead and say everybody's names. I'll label out Mercy Housing, but I will, for confidential reasons, I won't say the other names. Okay? But I'll read a little bit of this to you. Perhaps read it all. Let me just check something here. See how much time I have. Okay. Yeah. So let me just read this to you. The complaint says, Plaintiff Tony David Leonard, all capital name, by and through his attorney in fact, Tony-David Leonard, for his complaint against defendants states as follows. 1. Plaintiff TDL. Herein after, plaintiff is a tenant domiciling in Danville, Vermilion County, Illinois. Plaintiff brings this action by and through his duly appointed attorney-in-fact, Tony-David Leonard. Defendant Mercy Housing Incorporated hereinafter. Mercy Housing is a corporation operating residential rental properties in Illinois, including in Vermilion County, and receives federal subsidies and HUD oversight. Now, we mentioned HUD in here. The reason that is because this is through a housing authority. So another thing I did, I can show you later, is that I have went the administrative route as well. I filed a complaint with HUD, and not only HUD, we'll also be talking about the Attorney General. I filed a complaint with the Attorney General, which is absolutely beautiful. I took the administrative steps that the judge wants to see. Okay, anyways, number 4, defendant is employed as an assistant property manager for Mercy Housing in Danville, Illinois. Defendant, let's say defendant A to defendant B is employed as Mercy manager as property manager for Mercy Housing in Danville, Illinois. Defendant C is employed as an area manager for Mercy Housing operating out of Chicago, Illinois office and oversaw or directly participated in the events described herein. So the jurisdiction and venue. This court has jurisdiction over the matter pursuant to Article 6 of the Illinois Constitution and Illinois Common Law governing contracts towards statutory rights. 7. Venue is proper in Vermilion County because the events giving rise to the complaint occurred in Vermilion County, Illinois, where plaintiff domiciles and defendants conducts business. So here's the statement of facts. June 6, 2025. Mercy Housing, through defendants A and B, issued a lease violation to plaintiff, alleging threats and bullying. 9. Plaintiff did not threaten or bully anyone. Plaintiff calmly asserted his lawful rights regarding his private vehicle, which is held in a private trust. 10. These allegations were false, defamatory, and retaliatory. 11. On July 3, 2025, plaintiff contacted area manager C regarding the violation and later submitted a sworn affidavit with supporting exhibits, including case law and the original violation notice. 12. Despite repeated promises of resolution by Mercy Housing, no final written decision was ever provided to plaintiff. 13. Instead, plaintiff was subjected to repeated delays, inconsistent explanations, and ongoing uncertainty, causing emotional distress, reputational harm, and interference with plaintiff's housing rights. 14. Plaintiff also requested written apologies from defendants Taylor and LeBounty. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Plaintiff A and B for their false allegations which have not been provided. I think I'll be okay. Eventually all of this will be public information. It already is public information. It's on public file, so I said their names, whatever. If they made me sign a non-disclosure agreement, I will go ahead and delete this and redo this probably, but whatever. 15. To date, Mercy Housing has failed to withdraw the false lease violation, confirm its removal from records, or issue the requested apologies. So count 1, breach of contract. Plaintiff incorporates all prior paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. The lease agreement, 17, between plaintiff and Mercy Housing contains an implied covenant of good faith and fair dealing. 18. By issuing a false retaliatory lease violation, Mercy Housing breached this covenant. 19. As a result, plaintiff has suffered damages including emotional distress, reputational harm, and financial expenses, which is all fairly true, very, very true. Now, one thing I think that might be a trip in the court is the fact that they might question my private trust because they want to know about my trust. But by law, I don't have to tell them about my trust. Well, the housing authority. It's not in their business, nobody's business. It's completely out of their jurisdiction. Two, another thing may be here is that they might try to talk about my car. They might try to talk about how I did all that stuff, which is really, this isn't about the car. I'll go ahead and talk about it briefly. However, this is not about the car. This is simply about the lease violation that caused emotional distress, reputational harm, and financial expenses. So then we're on to count 2, defamation. Plaintiffs incorporates all prior paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. Now, basically what that means is that 20 that I keep repeating is just, instead of repeating everything, it just continuously confirms what was said before was true and doesn't need to be said again. It means we can move forward. So we go on to 21. Defendants Taylor and LaBounty made false... I said their names again. This is very difficult not to read their names, but that's okay. So defendants made false statements accusing plaintiff of threats and bullying. These statements harmed plaintiff's reputation both... See, I had to repeat that 21 again, threats and bullying, because that was part of the count, the defamation. So, whatever. 22, these states harmed plaintiff's reputation both personally and in housing records. Defendants acted with negligence or reckless disregard for the truth. 24, this conduct has not only harmed me personally, but has caused undue stress to my family, including my fiancé, a United States veteran during and after pregnancy. It is my belief that Mercy Housing staff, including Terry LaBounty, have established a pattern of mistreatment towards veterans and vulnerable tenants. And so basically 24, what I'm going to try to do is pull this into deposition, and then I will pull out interrogatories, and I'll be able to ask specific questions, and I will go ahead and tie other mistreatment into what I have going on here. So 25, in addition to June 6, 2025, the lease violation, I have a reasonable and well-founded concern that Mercy Housing may engage in further retaliatory conduct, including refusing to renew the lease or attempting to terminate the lease agreement altogether. These potential actions would be directly connected into my assertion of legal rights and the filing of formal complaints. Such conduct would constitute an additional violation of Section 818 of the Fair Housing Act, 42 U.S.C. Section 3617. The corresponding Illinois housing protections, as retaliation encompasses not only immediate penalties, but also adverse housing decisions tied to protected activity. I trust that HUD will take this complaint seriously and ensure that federal housing protection against retaliation are fully enforced. So, that's interesting. So basically I'm speaking to HUD just in case if they have to, if I have to complain with them, which I did file a complaint, but I'm not filing a complaint yet about them canceling out my lease. Actually, we just signed a new lease, so I'm glad we did that before all this happened. So anyways, moving forward, count 3, retaliation under Fair Housing Act, 42 U.S.C. 3617. Plaintiff incorporates all prior paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 27. Plaintiff engaged in a protected activity by asserting his housing rights. 28. Defendants retaliated against plaintiffs by issuing a false lease violation. 29. Such violation is prohibited under the Fair Housing Act. So then we have count 4, which is 30. So violation of retained rights, U.S. Constitution Amendment 9. So 30, plaintiff incorporates all prior paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 31, the Ninth Amendment secures rights retained by the people, including the right to peaceably enjoy one's home and assert lawful property interest without retaliation. 32, By issuing a false and retaliatory lease violation, defendants infringed on these retained rights. 33. Plaintiff has suffered emotional distress, reputational harm, financial expenses, and ongoing uncertainty as a result. So as you see, I added another line to that, or another little statement. My ongoing uncertainty as a result, meaning I have the possibility of losing my home because they want to retaliate against me, which they can't do, of course. But what do these corporations do? Not follow the law. So, count 5: intentional infliction of emotional distress. 34. Plaintiff incorporates all prior paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. 35. Defendant's conduct and issuing a false retaliatory lease violation, failing to correct it despite repeated request, and prolonging the matter through delay and inaction, was extreme and outrageous. 36. Defendants knew or reasonably should have known that such conduct would cause severe emotional distress. 37. Plaintiff, among with his immediate family members residing with him, suffered significant emotional distress during and after fiance's pregnancy and disruption in their home life as a direct result of defendant's actions. So 38. Defendant's conduct demonstrates reckless disregard for plaintiff's rights and well-being. 39. As a proximate result, plaintiff has sustained damages including severe emotional distress, mental anguish, reputational harm, and financial costs associated with addressing the retaliation. Prayer for relief. Wherefore, plaintiff respectfully requests that this court enter judgment in his favor and against defendants as follows. A. An order requiring the formal withdrawal of June 6, 2025 lease violation. B. Written confirmation that the violation has been removed from all tenant records. C. Written apologies from defendants A and B. D. Compensatory damages in the amount of $50,000, reflecting plaintiff's original $35,000 demand, plus accrued damages at $500 per day, and continuing to increase until judgment is entered. E. Damages for emotional distress and mental anguish caused by defendant's conduct. F. Punitive damages for willful and reckless conduct. G. Cost of suit filing and any other out-of-pocket expenses reasonably incurred. H. Such other and further relief as the court deems just and proper. Respectfully submitted, and this is how you go ahead and you reserve your rights by saying without prejudice, okay, always without prejudice. Tony-David Colin Leonard, agent of the principal Tony David Leonard, or otherwise known as the all capital name, more better yet, the sole proprietorship. So there you have it. That's the complaint that I drafted, that I worked nearly 100 days on. And don't quote me on the hereinafter. I think I misspoken. I'll fix it later. Whatever. Plaintiff incorporates all prior paragraphs as if fully set forth herein. I'll look back into that. That's in the Federal Rules of Civil Procedure. That's something that you write into you draft into your complaints, and so I'll look into that. I don't think it means what I said it meant, because I did repeat a lot of things over and over again, and well, I'm not an attorney. I didn't go to school, and if I sound repetitive, it's because I'm trying to instill the severity of the matter at hand. So whatever. And then other than that, I won't show you the full name here, even though I blurted some stuff out I shouldn't have done. It's pretty cool here. I've never done this before. I never drafted a civil complaint like this before. This is really neat. I also drafted a summons. The summons is pretty impressive, in my opinion. It was summons, well, they are summonsed. It was stamped by the court, and I like that seal. seal. It makes my papers look fancy and legit. I feel like a real lawyer over here. Well, besides those complaints, I also have to now. The best thing to do is here to stay organized. That's the best thing to do. If you're going to be a pro se litigant, if you're going to listen to what I say, and you're going to take these steps to go ahead and stand forth on your own, well, the best tip I can give you here is to be organized. Stay organized, be organized. Don't lose organization. Keep track of everything. Copy everything. Document everything. I have a binder I will show everybody here. Eventually, I will show you how I go ahead and I put all my documents into my binder. I have these cool little plastic sleeves. I find it cool. Most people probably wouldn't care less, but I either do that or I go ahead and laminate. I have a laminated machine. I laminate the files, the papers, the receipts, the certified receipts from the mail. So what I got to do here is I got an envelope. I'm going to go ahead and actually just do this while I'm sitting here. I have one which is specifically for Chicago. Alright, let's see. Where am I at here? I can find out when I look through this. So what I got to do is, it's my job to, because this isn't in the county, Vermilion County, I have to directly send. So that's going to be in the other envelope. I have to directly send my summons to the Sheriff's Department in Sangamon County and under Cook County, which is Chicago and Springfield. So the one under, so basically, this is pretty cool actually. I called them up today. It was really simple. A lot simpler than I thought it was going to be. You go to the civil process unit and they give you the address. They tell you need 2 copies of the summary, you need the complaint, and in my favor, I needed a copy of the waiver, which that was the main thing I was trying to find out, if they actually accept the waiver that I got approved of, because I'm in Vermilion County, so the court didn't know if they would accept it. They do accept it, good to know in the future. They're all in their own little files. I wish I had the green slips with me. I can write that down and show you guys those sometimes. Well, I'll show you when I get my binder out and we do another video of that particular process. So yeah, you want to put them in yellow envelopes. These are so you can send them certified send and receive. I will go ahead and mail these out directly today immediately. The sheriffs already have the summons for the 2, Party A, Party B here in Danville, Vermilion County, and the other ones will get theirs probably within, today's Tuesday, Wednesday, so probably next week. I'm sure that they'll get served next week. And then from there, we'll go ahead and we'll get a copy of all the, here, let me actually show you this. I won't show you the direct summons because it has parties' names on it that I just don't want to relinquish yet. But something that you do after you create a summons, I'll go ahead and create, I'll create maybe a blank summons, but I created this. It's called a return of service. That return of service is pretty cool. That return of service is what I send to the sheriffs with these summons. They fill that out and then they send it back to me. So this whole process is really fun for me, in my opinion. I learned a lot. I established quite more than I ever believed I would have established. And what I mean by that is perseverance. I've established perseverance. I've established will and strength, and I've endured a lot just in these last 100 days by pushing through this procedure. It's not easy, it's strenuous, and I'm tired. I don't want to go through with it a lot of the times, but I continue doing it because I know that it's going to make a difference, not just in my pockets, which, like I keep saying, I don't really care that much about. It's going to make a difference in society, and that's what my big hope is. I'm a really big fan of sociology. I love what Socrates stood for, and Aristotle and Plato's are our foundational blocks of society. I love what they stood for. I love what Christ stood for. All these people, they stood for things that have really been tarnished. They have been stepped on and walked on. And so what we need to do is we need to revitalize these social policies, all these social, basically social policies. There's another word that I'm looking for that is fumbling around up there. But we got to change the socials. We got to change the structure, the social policy, the foundation of society here in America, because we have gone too far left and too far right. And when we go too far left, we're Democratic. We go too far right, we're Republican. And we're now just political, too liberal, and so on and so forth. And nothing gets solved. We just keep running in circles. And it's inevitable that we just keep going and going and going and getting nowhere. But really all that happens is from running in all these circles all the time is that the knowledge that we have available at the tips of our finger right now keeps on getting buried deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's more and more layers you must sift through like an onion to be able to get to the core of understanding. I can get really philosophical with this, and it's worth it. However, I'm at 26 minutes right now, so I don't want to keep going and rambling and so on, but stand up for yourself. And not just for yourself, but stand up for your kids. And if you don't have kids, stand up for the other kids. And stand up for their kids. Okay? Stand up for the future generations. And if you're not for kids and you don't want to stand up for the kids, well, don't stand up for them then. Stand up for your ancestors. You're alive. You're breathing. Do you realize what your ancestors survived just to get here? How many plagues they survived? How many famines they survived? How many droughts they survived? Do you understand this? They survived hunger and fear and wars. So it's all this tyrannical history that we are forced to learn. You were here because they survived all of that. So don't sit down and give up. Don't go and fight for your country and then come home and sit down and stop fighting. The fight's not over. We just gotta stop fighting with our fist. Goofy, I know. But we gotta start fighting with pen and paper. Trust me. And I say this because I always fought with my fist. I boxed it out for years. Not just in the ring, but it got me nowhere. I always fought it out with my mouth, ran my mouth, got myself into trouble more than once. Got me nowhere. Didn't change anything. People like me in the past, we just made the laws worse. Made police officers retaliate, more retaliatory. Made politicians stricter, wanting to infringe upon our rights and have us willfully give away our rights, our peace, our liberty, our freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Well, I'm done. Alright, peace out. Love life. Be you. Be free. Fly away.